All right, this lesson is about reading an architect's scale. Okay, an architect's scale is a three-sided ruler. And on that ruler, of course, each side has another two sides. So you got a side here and then a side here. Also, on each of those sides, you have different scale possibilities. Okay, so here I have 1/4 inch scale. This 0 tells me that the scale measurements start at this end and are the lower level or the lower line of numbers. So 0 feet, 2 feet, 4 feet. Okay, so all this is meant to represent feet, all these different scales. And of course you can get inches on these too, probably not as accurately, but you can get like feet, and then definitely every 3 inches you can get pretty accurately, but anything less than that is very hard to get accurately. Okay, so this is a 1/4 inch scale. Now you see these other numbers up top, they actually belong to the scale on the other side of the ruler. Right here, 1/8 of an inch scale, so 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. All right, so we start here at 0. Okay, and as we go down, we see the next number in that row of numbers is 4. All right, that means that some of these lines in between also equal feet. So we got 0 feet, 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, and 4 feet. Sometimes it takes a little trying to figure out what the scales are once you look at the different scales, and sometimes you have to use a regular ruler just to kind of butt up to the scale and make sure that you're reading it correctly. But typically your 1/8, your 1/4, your 1/2 are usually pretty easy to read. 1/4 inch scale is what we use most often. Okay, that's what we use most often. 1/4 inch scale for floor plans, roof plans, foundation plans, elevations, you name it. Okay, now we also do use a 1/2 inch or 1.5 inch scale. If it's on here, it is. Okay, so this is the 1.5 inch scale. We use that one also. And of course you can see here it starts 0 and then goes, and we can see by this 0 that we need to use the upper layer of numbers. You've got 2 layers of numbers here. You got some right here and you got some right here. You see how they're on different levels. Okay, so this level up here belongs to my 1.5 inch scale. If we go down here to the 3 inch scale, I can see that the numbers that drop down a little bit further are the ones that belong to the 3 inch scale. Okay, now of course you can use the markings of both scales interchangeably. So we have 1.5 inch scale, 0. This is 1 foot. Even though it says 2, this is 1 foot. We use it as a marker for 1 foot because that number 2 belongs to the 3 inch scale, but we still use that line as our 1 foot marker. Then we have the 2 foot line right here. That belongs to the 1.5 inch scale. So from 0 to here is 2 feet. From 0 to here is 1 foot. The distance between is actually 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches distance equals 1 foot of distance in the real world. You can also use this portion of the ruler down at the end. Each one of the scales have one of these, and you can see the 3/8 scale right up here as well. Okay, and you can read this one this way, and this allows you to measure inches. So I have 0 right here, that's 0 feet. Over here is 1 feet. And let's say I needed something that was 1 foot 3 inches. I can go right over here and measure 3 inches, which is right here. Okay, so 1 foot and 3 inches. Between this 0 and the 3, there are other tick marks. The larger of the tick marks equals 1 inch. So 0, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. And of course on down from that, if you get smaller, like let's go to the next smallest tick mark, we have 0, we have 6 inches, we have 1 foot, we have 1 foot 6 inches, we have 2 feet, 2 feet 6 inches, and then 3 feet. Okay, so that's how you read a scale. Okay. It might be a little bit easier to see it on this page. This is a printout of the scale. And of course, I can print you one of these. Anyone that wants one, I can print one and you can have it. But this is an Architect scale on paper. And over here, again, there's that 1/4 inch scale that we mostly use. It's upside down right now because this has several different scales on it. So we're going to flip it over. All right, and we're going to see 1/4 inch scale right there. All right, so with the 1/4 inch scale, I have some shapes I want you to draw. Most of them are using the 1/4 inch scale, but some of them do use some of the other scales. But if I wanted to draw a line, say in 1/4 inch scale, I would situate this 0 at the start point of my line. So wherever I wanted to start that line at, and then I would measure over to however many feet. So here we have 0. The next line, which doesn't have a number, does indicate 1 foot, because I'm reading off of this bottom row of numbers, and you see how they go 0, 2, 4, 6. So they skip the number. They skip writing the number for 2 feet, or I'm sorry, for 1 foot, or for each individual foot. So 0, if I want to draw something 4 feet, I'll start my line here and then just draw it to that mark right there, and that would represent 4 feet in the real world, okay, on paper. If I wanted to go, let's say 3 feet 6 inches, well, I know this one is 2 inches right here. I must go over to the next longest, right in between the 2 and the 4 to get 3 feet. So that would be 3 feet, okay? And then I'll go to this tick mark, and then that will be 3 feet 6 inches. The 1/4 inch scale also has a smaller scale to allow you to measure individual inches. Of course, you can see it's very small, very tight. So you got 0 inches here. The next tallest line, the next longest line is 3 inches. So 0, 3, 6, 9, and 12. And then between the 3, 6, 9, and 12 are more marks that you can barely see, and you may not be able to get those as accurately, but those represent individual inches. Okay, so this is the assignment. Okay, so you're going to number your paper just like I have here. And number 1, using scale of 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, you're going to draw a line that equals 5 feet 9 inches. Real simple. You can just draw it right down here. Okay, the next one says scale 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Draw square that equals 2 foot 6 inches. So a 2 foot 6 inch square, it just means that all 4 sides are 2 foot 6 inches and it's a perfect square. Okay, number 3 says using scale 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, draw a right triangle equals, and this is a sample of what the triangle would look like, and you would draw the base at 2 feet, and then the height of it would be 1 feet. Okay, and then of course once you finish drawing it, you just connect that line right there. Okay. Number 4, scale 1.5 inches equals 1 foot. Draw a line equals 3 feet. So using that 1.5 inch scale, draw a line that equals 3 feet. Number 5, 3/4 inch equals 1 foot. Draw triangle, just like this one, with a base of 2 foot 6 inches and a height of 2 foot 6 inches. And then of course these dashed lines represent the 2 sides of the triangle itself. So you would have a triangle that was 2 foot 6 inches. Okay, scale 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Draw a circle 4 feet in diameter. So using the 1/4 inch scale. So what I would do is I would measure 4 feet horizontally. I would mark the center of that line, that 4 foot line, while I still have the scale down on the table or on the paper. And then I would rotate the scale to where it's vertical. Situate the scale where it is positioned right over the line at the 2 foot mark. Okay, and put the scale itself, here's the 1/4 inch scale, You'll line the scale up. Nope, that's the wrong scale. There we go. So you would put this right at the 2 foot mark, and then draw from here. You would draw up 2 feet and down 2 feet to the 4 right here. Okay, and then that would give you a perfect, I guess, a crosshair, a cross, and then you would just fill in the blanks by going around and making your circle, like so. All right, so that is the assignment. Turn this in when you have completed it, and you will get credit.